I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to salute Father Girod today on his 50th anniversary as a priest. I have long admired his commitment and the strength of character which have led him to devote his life to God. His is a calling which too few have the courage to accept, and therefore we must feel privileged to be with him today to celebrate this blessed milestone in his life. Father Girod first entered St. Mary's College in 1943 in the junior school and later graduated to the senior school in 1945. I was ahead of him by a few years at St. Mary's, and my earliest recollection was to see him hustling down one of the corridors leading to the gym, a small, quick-moving young boy running toward what was clearly the prep yard. Though I did not know it at the time, I suspect with hindsight that he must have been running to attend a scout meeting. If that was indeed where he was heading, then I must add that he never turned back. The scout movement became an important part of his life and provided the foundation for his life of service. Naturally, he became scout leader. He did his novitiate in Quebec in 1953 and went on to the University College of Dublin to do his BA in French and English literature, graduating with honors. He commenced his teaching career at St. Mary's College in 1958, and after serving 2 years, went on to Laval University in Quebec, where he did philosophy and theology, graduating summa cum laude. Father Girod was ordained as a priest with the Holy Ghost Fathers, for which he had prepared so thoroughly, and deepened his life of service to God and his fellow man on the 31st of May, 1964. He taught at Fatima from 1965 to 1977, earned a master's degree in education with honors from Boston College in 1979, and returned to Fatima as a teacher and dean of studies until 1990 when he retired. This quiet, unassuming, and self-effacing man is one of the unsung heroes of our country. He established the right priorities early in his life and never deviated from his goals. He has shaped the lives of so many of our youth, helping them to achieve their potential and their goals. He has given devoted service to the orphanages in sometimes difficult circumstances. He has given and given and given to youth, schools, parishes, and wherever there was need.
I've known Father Girod, I think, for more than 35 years, or even more than that, because we knew the family. I went to school with some of his sisters at St. Joseph Convent, and he used to work at, in those days it's called Barclays Bank, where he worked with my sister. He was my dean, about 45 years ago, probably.
I'm one of the old Fatima Scouts. I've come to know Father Girod, well, I suppose through scouting.
I remember I was in Form 1, Father Girod approached us. He wanted to know who wanted to join the scout troop. And well, I jumped in, full swing.
Interestingly, you hear about Father Farfan, but you hear about Father Girod. And that Fa is significant. It tells you the sort of closeness that you got with Father Girod. Of course, met Father Girod coming in here, and after 1 year, Form 1, the next thing to do was to join the scout troop.
Hello, Fa. Bibby here. 1967 to 72.
I came into Fatima in 1968. And I followed my brother Colin, who came in the year before.
I first met Father Girod in the year 1972 when my first son, Jerry Chinley, after common entrance, he got into Fatima. Of course, we were delighted that he came to Fatima.
In speaking with Father Girod, you got to understand what was Fatima's true philosophy. I always remember a statement that he made. And then also in some articles that he wrote in the Fatima Annual, he repeated it. Very simple statement. Every pupil is important.
Father Girod reminds me of a couple of things in Santa Cruz. There's a river in Santa Cruz called the San Juan River. It's been there, of course, for who knows how long. Much like Father Girod has been in Fatima College for who knows how long. But that river has shaped the Santa Cruz Valley. And has been shaped as well by the Santa Cruz Valley, much in the same way that Father Girod has shaped and been shaped by Fatima College. And Father's hand, his spirit, if you will, is everywhere in Fatima College.
I remember him telling us once that he was 10 years a priest. I do remember that. And what was striking was his zeal. He was always a very zealous person, full of life, very involved, very committed. I can say this without fear of contradiction, that the years that he was the scout master, those were the golden years of the scouts here at Fatima.
Honor God, obey the scout law, and help others. That's what these three fingers mean. And obeying the scout law was something that we learned throughout the years, but honoring God, I think you made it possible. You made it a point to ensure that we knew God and that we, as much as possible, we lived his life.
Father Girod devoted his time to the scouts in the First Fatima Scout Troop. And when I say he was more than just a dean and a teacher, but he was a mentor.
And, you know, Father Girod instilled a lot of moral and spiritual values into these boys. And to this day, it is so grateful because they're able to pass all this to their children.
Scouting was the medium to which we experienced the world around us. We were taken on hikes. We were taught to row down the islands. We had camps over the summer vacations on Monas. He took us to Tobago, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Miami. And all these young guys, we became brothers.
It was at those camps where I felt that we learned a lot. We learned how to get along with each other, how to interact with our peers, how to fend for yourself, you know, and how to life lessons and invaluable life lessons for manhood, for sure.
That scout troop provided adventure for young men at that age, which is what you really needed. And it impressed me so much that when my own children, my own sons, passed common entrance, we were living in Chagonas, and they attended Presentation College, Chagonas. When they got to the school, there was no scout troop, and the way Father Girod ran his scout troop, I mean, I knew I wanted my boys to have the experiences that I had. All the experiences, the swimming, the rowing, the life saving, you know, because the friends I made in that scout troop, I have them up to today. So I started the scout troop, restarted the scout troop in Presentation College, Chagonas, and ran it for 8 years.
I don't think we realized it at that time, but he must have sacrificed a tremendous amount of his life to devote his energies to making sure that we had all of these experiences.
In terms of my own development, he was very instrumental in shaping me, and I think quite a lot of us who passed through the scout troop.
Be prepared, and Fa, you did prepare us.
What I remember a lot about you, Father, is that there were a lot of scout leaders around. There were a lot of troop leaders around. You were one of the troop leaders. But I think more than anything is you were a spiritual leader.
I suppose what stands out for me really would be daily mass and being an altar server. It was not something that I even thought I might enjoy doing, but my relationship with Father was a good impetus to do that, and I'm really glad I did it.
And as the years go by, I met Father Girod in the parish at St. Teresa's, and I was considering the diaconate. It was advertised in the Catholic News. And one day in front of the Blessed Sacrament, I was asking the Lord, tell me if I should respond to this call, because I feel maybe I can make a contribution. And up comes Father Girod. Richard, the Lord needs you. Would you consider the diaconate? Now, this was way out of the blue. So I took it as a sign that God was maybe asking me to do something, and I responded favorably. So Father Girod has been the kind of person who has always been on the button. You know, he's always been there capitalizing on any moment for your spiritual welfare or the welfare of the church. This is how I knew him, and he operated true to form on that weekday morning at St. Teresa's.
He lives in accordance with Jesus' promises to Sister Faustina, and he always, you know, whenever you call him for the prayers for the sick, the dying, he's always available, and he makes sure he says the divine mercy in accordance with Jesus' promises. So he makes sure he tries to save as many souls as he can.
I remember there was something called Christopher's. They would have it at lunchtime up in the downstairs of the biology lab. So there was a very religious side to it, and religious formation as part of that troop. I'm sure that Father Girod would have taken that from his scout leader, Father Tober, who was the scoutmaster at St. Mary's College.
You know, in life, all challenges come to us, and I can trace it back, that how we deal with life challenges, and I dare say we all have been able to deal with them. We have to anyway. But how well we deal with them, the foundations and the faith that we have gained and we have, stems from the work that you've done with Christopher's. I still have all the papers.
He stood for discipline, and that is one of the trademarks that I have kept throughout my life in my dealings with people. Father Girod is extremely disciplined. He taught us to be people of integrity, people of honesty.
But he used to have a midday league being played with cricket and football and so on. And there was a bit of an uproar and a bit of fighting and so on. And he told everybody to write out 250 times, Fatima boys are not hooligans.
The only time I regret being a scout was when you was Medina and you had to give me extra lashes. I used to get lashes every day.
I think that without his guidance and his mentorship, my life could have turned out very differently.
Father Girod's legacy in Fatima College is, of course, the Mayfair. He started the Mayfair, the first Sunday in May. It was an activity of the Fatima Scouts. Later on, when they built the Audiovisual Center, it became a Fatima activity. I think that is something that, you know, the Mayfair is an activity. Father Girod started it, and I hope that, you know, we will always continue to have this Mayfair, because the Mayfair is one Fatima activity that caters for everybody.
When my son came into Fatima, we got closer through Anne and everybody with the barbecues for the Mayfair. Everybody had to come and help. So that was quite exciting.
Hundreds of people would be lining up for barbecue, and I often wondered, how did I get involved with this? Because I have no sons.
I consider myself to be an active old boy. Why, I'm immensely proud to be the father of an old boy. So that's all part of Father Girod's legacy for me. And I thank God and I thank Father for his service, for his loyalty, for his encouragement.
What Father Girod was to us, he was the ultimate leader, he was a mentor, he was a counselor.
I remember when I learned that my father was stricken with cancer. I headed straight to Fatima College and I sought out Father Girod. And I think he is the one who guided me throughout the early stages.
Also, my grandson, Jonathan Gillette, when he was born, he was rushed to the General Hospital, and you came with us and blessed him, and to this day he's doing fantastic. So thank you very much, Father Girod.
I want to thank you for your dedication, your commitment to the providing us boys with an outlet. You turned this miserable boy into a miserable gentleman. And I'm sure that many of those guys are out there in whatever role they perform, they are scouts.
I have to say that his life has been one of service to his fellow man through the Boy Scouts and also to the wider community.
What stands out in this 50th year is his undying commitment to ministry and to the service of people.
So Father Girod, on the 50th anniversary of your ordination, I just want to say thank you. Congratulations on behalf of my wife, my family, all my classmates, all old boys everywhere. Thank you for being the San Juan River in our Santa Cruz Valley. God bless.
It is my privilege to thank him sincerely on your behalf for the outstanding career of devotion and love. May he enjoy good health for the remainder of his years. We know he will continue to serve. Well done.